I'm Justin Mott, the cyclographer, and my brand new channel is dedicated to all things cycling from the perspective of a below-average middle-aged cyclist. I'm a full-time photographer by trade based here in Vietnam and traveling the world, and I started this channel because I have a passion for all things cycling, and I called it the cyclographer. Well, it's kind of obvious because cycling and photographer, I combine those two. I don't know if I'm gonna stick with that name. And this is my normal setup for my other YouTube channel, which is all photography based. You'll see I have more subscribers there than I do here because it's a brand new channel. But, you know, I thought about changing spaces and wearing a helmet, wearing a vest, and having like cycling accessories around me, but I don't think that's necessary. I think if I just talk about cycling stuff, I don't need all the accessories to prove to you because I'm not a pro cyclist, I'm just an amateur. So I'm going for more of like a post-ride vibe. Anyway, I'll work all that out in the introduction. But for now, today I'm gonna talk about this right here, the Post Carry Mini Handlebar bag. Just came out, I've been using it for a couple weeks, and here are my thoughts. So today I'm going to talk about this little guy here, the Post Carry Mini Handlebar bag. I've been using it for a couple weeks on my road rides, on my Orbea Terra, on the streets of Hanoi and beyond, and I've really been digging this. So Post Carry, if you haven't heard of the company, is also based here in Vietnam. That's actually how I heard about them. And they were started by Mark Mendoza, an industrial designer who really loves cycling. And I think they kind of became famous for their compact portable transfer bag. If you haven't checked those out, you can see them right here. I'll put up a little link to their stuff here. But I don't own their transfer bag, but I have owned just about every one of their bike bags. I have their frame pack, I have their saddle bag, and I have their older handlebar bag here, which you can see is significantly larger than the newer updated one. No, it's not updated, it's just like a different version of it, used for different things. But I've used a lot of their products quite extensively. I've communicated with Mark on Instagram. He's a very nice guy, and I really like their products, and they're also produced here in Vietnam. But the local bike shops here raved about their products, so I started buying them, started using them, and I really started liking them, and I wanted to do a review about them. So let's start with the price and the features of this bag here. The Post Carry Mini Handlebar bag comes in at $40. It weighs 125 grams, which is 40% lighter than their old one that I used, the handlebar bag here, which is also still available to purchase on their website. It has a 180-degree zipper here, which is a sort of a different function. It's like eating your stuff. It's like a little Pac-Man thing here. Like, put your stuff in me. Go ahead, put all your bike. All right, this is getting weird. Compared to the last one, which has a zipper opening here and a magnetic flap. The last one is more of a top-loading bag here, which you could leave open and just have that magnetic flap on. This does not have the magnetic flap on it, which I think for obvious reasons, because it opens sideways, the magnetic flap might just be a little bit risky because your stuff could fall out. So the 180-degree zipper comes in handy quite nicely, especially if you have like an awkward attachment or if you have aero bars like I do. Now I don't have aero bars because I'm like aero and fast. I have aero bars because I'm an old man and I want a different position to be in. So this actually fits perfectly and is easily accessible under the aero bars, whereas this one doesn't really fit that well under there. It attaches here by two Velcro straps here that just attach around your handlebars. It also has a reinforcement drawstring back here, but you don't really need it. You need it on the larger one so your bag doesn't sort of rattle back and forth, but on the smaller bag here, the Mini, you have it, but you don't really need it. And to be honest, I don't really even like it. I don't like ties. I don't like extra things. Like when I have a bag, I don't want to have to tie anything. I just want it to be as quick as possible. I just don't like extra things around it or even slack on it. So you're better off, for me, in my opinion, just taking this thing off altogether, which you can easily, because these Velcro straps are quite sturdy and the bag's quite small. It'll stay just fine on its own. It's not gonna rattle back and forth. But anyway, it's there if you want it, or you can take it off if you don't. The bag is available in 6 different colors, which you can check out right here. I'll scroll through them. And 2 of those colors come with a reflective strip here, the black and the blue. I chose to go with the all black because it just matches the aesthetic of my Orbea Terra, which is all black and gray, and I just like all black accessories. So those 2 colors come with the reflective graphics here, which comes in handy if you're into safety, which you should be, especially if you're in Vietnam. Anything I can do to be seen, hence why I have a Rafa bright pink vest because you just want to be seen. People aren't looking out for bikes, especially here in the streets of Hanoi. So anything extra. Has a nice little reflective graphics here, very minimalistic Post logo here, little logo on the back here. Everything else is very understated, which I really like about their bags. So the outer material here is a 600D polyester, and the inner fabric is a 200D polyester fabric, if you're into that. It also has a thin PE plastic inner structure, so that kind of gives it its structure, so it's not like flopping around everywhere. And it has YKK zippers. For those of you that don't know, YKK is like the industry standard for zippers. If you have zippers, you want them to be YKK. I don't even know who the second brand of zippers is out there, but everyone seems to agree that YKK is the best, and I've never had any problems with them. So anyway, it's nice they chose premium zippers here. It has these nice little straps on the end here. It has 2 zippers here, so you can close it from one side or you can have them meet in the middle, whatever your zipper preference is. It is water resistant, but not waterproof. I've used it in some heavy rain. I haven't got wet yet. I haven't gone out in like a full-on downpour yet, but I have with the last bag, and I never had any issues there. The full dimensions on this are 20 by 10 by 10 centimeters. Again, quite significantly smaller than the last bag here. Now, I used this last bag here for a very long time, and I really like it. I have no problems with it, and I will still use it in the future. The reason I bought this other bag here is because this was just too much for me. It looks a little bit big on the bike. I feel like I was posing. It like looks like I'm going on this great adventure, and I was only going on like 2 to 4 hour rides, and that's why I stopped using this. It was like too big, and I ended up filling it with too much stuff because I could. That's just kind of the way that my brain works. Like, I have more room in there, let me put more stuff, let me put an extra gel pack, let me put a separate camera in there. And I just ended up filling it because like I could, because it was space. And while I could see using it on larger adventures, maybe like bike packing trips, or like really like if I went on like a full, really long day trip or something like that, it could come in handy. It wasn't really necessary for my normal ride, which tend to be about 60 to 100 kilometers in about 2 to 4 hours, and I go on about 4 to 6 rides a week. And for those kind of rides, I just didn't need all the stuff that I could fit in here. And that's where this came in handy. So the way I've been using this is on those kind of rides, on my everyday rides, those 2 to 4 hour rides. And I couple this with the saddlebag. I use the saddlebag and I just keep a spare tube in there, and I keep a couple CO2 cartridges. I run tubeless tires, so I don't really need those much. So that's why I went with a separate saddlebag. I just kind of keep that under my saddle. I don't ever think about it, and I rarely need it, so I don't want to like have it constantly in the way here. So that's why I use it that way. So what I keep in here is I keep my little raffle wallet in here, which has my money, my credit cards, my elevator key card, my keys, and you know, like an extra chain link and things like that in here. And then I also keep a Topeak small multi-tool in here. I might keep a gel in here. I keep my little Topeak mini pump in here. And I also keep, I just keep this extra little towel here because it gets kind of muddy and gross here. So if I need to wipe my face off or wipe something off, I keep that in here as well. It's no separate compartments inside. It's just one main compartment here, but it all fits quite nicely. So that inner has that, it's not fabric inside, which is also nice. It's that hard plastic. So if you were to get water in here, it's really easy to just kind of wipe out. So that's basically what I keep in here. Sometimes I roll up a gilet and keep it in there as well, but that kind of like barely fits with this wallet because my wallet's quite clunky. I could also keep my phone in there. Sometimes I do, sometimes I just keep it in my back pocket here. I have an iPhone 12 Max, which is the larger one, but as you can see, it still fits in there pretty easily. I think if I had the phone and the wallet and the other stuff, I probably couldn't fit the gilet instead. I could just stick that in my jersey pocket. So that's kind of how I've been using it. Again, it feels like a lot less clunky. It feels a lot less like you're going on an adventure when you're not than this larger bag here. So a couple things I really like about it, a couple things that I don't. I always feel like a jerk saying like things I don't like about it because I've thought about this bag for like a couple weeks, but the designer, the owner, the people that make these bags think about them for like months or years often. So just a couple little things after using it for a couple weeks. I would prefer a quick release system. I mean, that's just me. The Velcro is fine. It works fine. There's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't take long to attach to your bars or anything like that. And they use like nice quality stuff here. I never feel like they're unstable or anything like that. But I would prefer just like a little clip. I know with that comes other different problems and things like that. But that's just something small. I just like a little clip, like to release stuff, like phew, and it comes off rather than having to like unstrap things. Again, I don't like that little extra drawstring in the back, but easy, just take it off if you don't like it, and that's easy to do. One small thing I'd like on the inside, it's a black interior. I'd love it if it was like a bright color, like a bright yellow or bright pink or something like that, just so you could see your stuff, because a lot of your accessories tend to be black, so they kind of blend in. I mean, I have a ton of stuff in here, so you're not fishing around a lot, but it would just be a nice little accent aesthetically, but also practically, just because you could see things a little bit easier if there was a bright color on the inside. And then the last bag had these little side mesh pockets here, which I really liked. Again, this is a smaller bag, so you can't really have everything, but I don't know where it would go. Maybe a little mesh pocket here to carry like one gel. That could be nice, like a little mesh thing here. But again, you know, with that comes other things that might be harder to clean. Might scuff up easy, and it might even be hard to kind of access there. But I just always liked these two side little mesh pockets they had on the larger bag. Those are all really just minor things for my everyday use for, like, again, those 2 to 4 hour rides. It's perfect, holds everything I need for those rides, and it just doesn't feel big. This was starting to just feel big. It just looked big, it felt big, and again, I ended up filling it. Whereas this holds like everything I need for those rides, and even a couple things I probably don't necessarily have to have, or I could fit in a jersey pocket, but I don't like that. I like having a little bag here, and it's just understated. The style of their bag's understated, it's minimalistic, good quality, and just easy to access. It just looks nice on my bike. I've gone with the frame bag. A lot of people might say, well, you could use a frame bag instead of the saddle bag plus the handlebar bag, but the frame bag to me, like, I like the aesthetic of my bike, and it just takes away from that. I'll use their frame bag, and the frame bag is actually a fantastic bag, but I'd use that again for multi-day adventures or stuff like that. But for everyday riding, I just found I didn't like it. And again, it was bigger and it just held more, so I ended up filling it. This, coupled with the saddle bag, just worked perfect, because again, I just want to keep that stuff in there that I barely ever use, just for emergencies. So I've got my CO2 cartridges in there, I've got my extra tube in there, and this carries the stuff that I need access to more often, like my keys and my wallet and things like that. It might be a nice little feature if, like, you know, Rafa and some of those other bags have that, like, option to have the strap that comes out and you can wear it, but again, I think for everyday riding, I'm not doing that so much. I'm not getting off my bike for hours. I'm going for a 2 hour or 3 hour ride, so I'm not getting off for 30 minutes and going around. So I don't think that's necessary to make this also into like one of those little fanny packs or shoulder bags. So I like the aesthetic. I like that the bag's a lot smaller than this one. I like the look. Again, functionally, it works perfectly. This 180-degree mouth system here works well. Again, I was skeptical in the beginning. I thought stuff would pour out, but again, because it has that thin layer of that hard plastic that curves on the inside, it holds its structure well. Your stuff doesn't come dumping out. It just works really well. Again, very understated, good quality fabric, good quality zippers, the Velcro attachment, everything just works perfectly on their bags. I like the style of their bags, that stuff's important to me, but also just functionally, it just kind of works exactly how I want it to. So for my everyday rides, this bag is absolutely perfect. For my weekly rides, perfect. If I wanted to go on more of an adventure, I'd probably couple this handlebar bag, the larger one, with the frame bag, and then I'd have options to carry more stuff. They're a great company. Check them out. Go on their Instagram, check them out. They really make cool stuff. Check out their transfer case, check out their other bags. I've been really happy with it. Again, I've only been using it for a couple weeks. I haven't like fully put it to the test yet in crazy rain or anything like that, but for what I've been using it for the kind of rides that I've been doing, this bag has been perfect. That's all for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching this review. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, and go out there and have a great ride.